All right, guys. I wanted to talk about the sad fight that is against the Mind Flayer in Stranger Things because I think it was just so quick and so terrible. I think they give the Mind Flayer so much nonsense, starting from like season one to season four. Season one and two being like them really making it scary and dangerous, and that's being when it was like more of a horror show than a sci-fi show. But they just take so much away from these two villains that it becomes pretty pathetic. Um, just watching it over, it's like it's like a first boss in a video game comparison to like a final boss. Like these two were the first bosses in this game because how easy it was done. It was done in I think 3 minutes. The Mind Flayer had nothing but open targets. Like at this point, I know like the collapse of the worlds would be a big deal, but if the Mind Flayer just like got into Earth, I'm pretty sure the military would have that done within like 25 minutes. The moment they decided to drop bombs on it, even with Vecna in it, I feel like it would just be gone. Like it's just got these bubbly spots that are, I guess, eggs or whatever. They just burn it. Like it took no time at all. It took zero effort. It was just, and it was just another bug. I just found it really annoying that they were going to do a bug scenario. Um, so I have a really good example of how they first stole the bug idea, but also how realistic this is. Exactly, this is a replication of what happens in Stranger Things done in Stephen King's it. Oh no, look, there's a bad bug. Uh-oh. Hit it, hit it. Stab, stab, stab. Fire, fire, fire. This is what it felt like watching that entire scenario go through. So if you haven't seen it, you just did. And so, like with Vecna 2, I give a bit more credit for the writing with Vecna, where he had to go through his like darkest dream, like darkest nightmares, and you can see him getting weaker. And there's not a huge time skip, so like I kind of give that idea that maybe he's so weak because he just went through that, and now he's like, you know, going against like obviously these are all spoilers, but Will and L. So I give him a bit more credit on being weak, but they really did just nerf the crap out of these characters, and the Mind Flayer was just lame. Like it was just a lame villain. You got to think people are getting psychic powers from this thing, and it doesn't talk. It doesn't have psychic powers. It's just a giant ass bug. Like, are you serious? The ending baddie for a thing that is like so designed for like being one of the most intelligent things in the world because it can go through all these people's minds. It's a hive, right? So it sees what they see. It knows what they know. It's just a giant bug with no extra other than I guess you could say Vecna's maybe its brain, but that still doesn't make any sense because he's just a vessel. So it doesn't make any sense, and I think it's really disappointing that they couldn't think of anything remotely clever. Um, like I went through the video again on YouTube. I wanted to rewatch kind of the fight, and it's literally like every single limb has a hit point. Underneath it's stabbable. Fire can't handle it. Like killing Vecna or not, you could have killed that thing so easily, like so easily. The military, it seemed like one tank probably would have taken that thing out. So the big baddie just didn't seem to be that bad. It was big, and don't get me wrong, the creature look was decent enough, but it was just I don't know, boring. I guess like nothing happened. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. Did you think that it was a fun fight? Because I found it was boring and really quick. All right, thanks for tagging in. Hey, I actually came back to this video because I was talking about like Big Baddies, Vecna, and just how weak they all were. And the thought kind of went through my head about how crazy the demo dogs are now in consideration to those two, because like the fighting them was everything. Like they were indestructible essentially, right? You couldn't shoot them. There's only one spot to kill them. There's a whole jail scene about that. The bottle scene with Mike's mom, and we realized that, like I realized anyways, that they're much more vicious and they're the actual biggest villains in the show in comparison. And if they didn't have or weren't controlled, then they would have been able to take Vecna and the Mind Flayer, being how easy they were to kill and how strong they actually are. And it's so funny that now, if you really think about it, the grunts of the show are actually the more powerful characters in the show as well. So I had to come back and add this to the video because I realized that was going to bug me if I didn't bring that up. All right, thanks again.